Starry Studio just revealed more information about custom servers in Once Human, including an early access launch, server rental details, and info on server rules. Now, before we dive into all the details, if this video ends up helping you out, definitely drop a like down below. It helps the channel out big time, and I really do appreciate it. But without further ado, let's dive in. Now, first off, if you're unfamiliar with what a custom server is, essentially it's a player-managed server that you rent and pay monthly for. Custom servers allow you to customize gameplay settings to give a more unique experience to players that join it. Once Human custom servers will have an early access trial launch on June 5th, and I'll have more details about how you can get access to that later in the video. And since this is going to be an early access launch for custom servers, obviously that means that all these things I'm talking about are subject to change before the official release of custom servers, so just keep that in mind. So first up, let's talk about what we know about the pricing for custom servers. Now, typically when you rent a server, you'll rent it from a hosting company of your choice and sometimes have to deal with a complicated setup. With Once Human, you'll actually be renting official servers from Starry Studio. Now, the goal here is to have complete end-to-end management of the server, and they aim to deliver a more reliable and user-friendly custom gameplay experience for you. Now, when it comes to pricing, they mention that they will be providing server rentals at cost price with no markup. And they also mention that running a custom server can be expensive for Once Human because each server needs to handle full logic processing, open world calculations, and data storage. However, they did say that these servers will be for quote-unquote a reasonable cost. Now, they did provide a link for where you'll be able to buy these servers, and it's the same link for when you want to top up on Christian, so I'll include that in the description down below, but I didn't see any information about server rentals yet. Maybe on June 5th we'll see that information there, so I'm not exactly sure what the monthly cost is going to be yet. Starry Studio also mentioned that the entry point for renting a custom server may vary depending on the game version or the platform partner. Now, I'm not 100% sure what that means, but perhaps prices may vary depending on what platform you're playing on. I'm not really sure, but if you do know, definitely drop a comment down below. There will also be different rental packages that can offer various durations and maximum player limits for your custom server. Now, the early access trial for custom servers will use trial pricing, and official pricing will be announced on the rental page that I mentioned once the full version is released. Also, server renewals and package upgrades will not be available during the trial period, and obviously will be available when the full version is released as well. And in case you're curious about what happens when a server rental expires, the server will enter a frozen state where all data is preserved and it can be restored upon renewal. Obviously, renewals aren't happening in the early access period, but once it's fully out, you'll be able to renew. Now, if your server remains expired for over 30 days, the server and all associated data will be permanently deleted. Now, if you do decide to rent a server during this early access trial, any of your custom server rental fees you pay will be fully refunded to you in the form of Christian, and those refunds are expected to be delivered within 5 working days after the trial ends, so just keep an eye out on your in-game mailbox if you do decide to rent a custom server. Alright, so now let's talk about some important information around custom server rules. So first off, you will not be able to use your same character that you played on official servers with. Custom servers do not support scenario sign-up or data migration. Each character is bound to a specific server. So it sounds like when you create a character for a custom server, that is the only server that the character can be played on. When the server host switches scenarios, the server will reset and players will need to create a new character to continue playing. Now, in the current version of the custom servers and official servers are separated with no data shared between them. So items like Starcrom and mods will not carry over between custom servers and official servers. Also, since this is going to be an early access trial, all monetization features and cosmetic asset transfers will be temporarily disabled. And they also mentioned to ensure the best possible experience during this trial, paid paid content features and asset sharing will be temporarily disabled on custom servers. They did say they plan to launch paid content features in the June 19th update, and at that point, purchases made on official server accounts will be fully synced with custom servers. So you'll be able to play and pay in either environment without needing to make duplicate purchases. And also, if you're wondering about Eternal Land, access to it will be disabled and will not sync with official servers. So Eternal Land essentially does not exist when you're playing on a custom server. Now, after you rent a server, you will be able to adjust various parameters. There's also higher quality server resources. They say they've optimized server performance to reduce lag and speed up loading for the best experience possible. And then also there is secure and stable official support. So the Starry Studio team will provide dedicated maintenance and technical support to quickly address any issues during the rental period. They also mentioned they will continue optimizing server costs in order to bring down the rental prices over time. Now, I did mention that server hosts will be able to adjust a variety of parameters for their server. Now, in these notes they provided, they didn't go into all the details of what exact parameters you can change, although I am hoping to get access to one of these custom servers, and I can invite people that are in my Discord, so I'll be able to show that stuff in a future video as well as live on stream. So be sure to join the Discord community down below so you get notified about all that custom server information. And if you are interested in joining my own custom server, that's where you'll be able to find an invite to that as well. Now, most parameter changes will actually take effect immediately on your server. However, there will be some parameters that will require a server restart. Also, depending on the scenario that you select, certain settings are tied to the type of scenario. Now, speaking of scenarios, in this early access version, only 3 scenarios are available: Manabus, the Way of Winter, and the newly released Once Human Raid Zone. So Raid Zone is going to be the only mode or scenario that is going to have a PvP focus for custom servers, at least right now. It does say other scenarios will not yet be available, so I imagine around the full release we'll get the rest of these scenarios. Now, regarding in-server permissions, the server host has access to a control panel where they can add items and execute various commands. The server host can also manage members on the server, and you can appoint admins who will have the same management permissions as the server host. Now, authorized admins can kick members or delete character data. Now, character data cannot be recovered if it's deleted, and kicked members will face account level restrictions. And each server can support up to 500 registered users, and you can enable automatic deletion of inactive characters in order to free up server space. Or obviously, you can manually manage and delete characters as needed. And Starry Studio mentioned that in the future, they plan to expand the customization options available on custom servers, such as custom gear, gameplay modifications, item sales, and more. They also said a variety of powerful features are already under development. Now, in order to actually participate in this trial of the custom servers, they will have a limited sale of custom servers that you can rent, and also an invitation-only model. Now, each region in the game will have a limited number of available server rentals, and the details will be shown on the rental page once that information is live, which again, I assume will be on June 5th or close to that date. Also, they said they will offer free access to players who've previously participated in co-dev events or are recognized community contributors. But there you have it, folks. There is all the information they have released on custom servers. Again, I am hoping to get access to a custom server and at least try it out for a month. So if you're interested in joining that to check it out, definitely join our Discord community. That's always linked down in the description below. But let me know, what do you think about these custom servers? I'm kind of torn on them a little bit. I think it's really cool that they're doing custom servers because I think people have been asking for it. But again, it also does segment the community even further. I feel like every time there is a new scenario comes out, it continues to kind of segment the community. Non-shutdown servers kind of also segment the community a bit more because people tend to not leave the servers that they just, want to remain on. So I don't know. I'm a little torn, a little on the fence about custom servers. I think it's a really cool idea, but I just hope it doesn't hurt the longevity of the game. But let me know, what do you think about it in the comments down below? I'm really interested. And of course, if you did enjoy today's video, be sure to like and subscribe. It truly does help out the channel and it means so much. So thank you guys for all the support thus far. But anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.